Leviticus chapter 5. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he hath seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul shall touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he shall also be unclean and guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, then when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he hath committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the manner, and the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that hath sinned shall bring for his offering a 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as touching his sin that he hath sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remnant shall be the priest's as a meat offering. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, If a soul commit a trespass, and sin through ignorance, in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with thy estimation by shekels of silver, and after the shekel of the sanctuary for a trespass offering. And he shall make amends for the harm he hath done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he wist it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred and wist it not, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a trespass offering, it is a trespass offering, he hath certainly trespassed against the Lord. There are 2 major components to this chapter. The first one deals with a continuation of chapter 4, where it talks about sin offerings. In this particular case, it also uses the word trespass, but it's not quite the same as the trespass offerings or the idea of trespass that is in the last 4 or 5 verses of the chapter. The first one consists of sins of omission. In other words, what do you do if you hear something that you don't report? What do you do if you're contaminated or something is wrong because you have unknowingly participated in something or touched something or been part of something that turns out to be unrighteous? And last but not least, what happens if you are ceremonially unclean, in this case you've touched a dead animal that was unclean or something like that? And the concept of sin here is that man's nature is sinful. In other words, because man is not God, man tends to be sinful by nature, in that much of what man does is less than perfect, and when it's less than perfect, it is of necessity defined as sinful. That is, the kinds of things that men tend to do tend to put up barriers between them and God. That doesn't mean that you're horrible or necessarily anything else. It's just this is the nature of earth life. That's how it happens. The second component, the trespass offering, recognizes that there is that sinful nature to man, in that I don't want to. You need to understand that yes, there is this sinful nature, but that doesn't mean that you are horrible. It just means that because you're less than perfect in your thought processes, in your lifestyle, and all the rest of it, that many of the things you do put barriers between you and God. That's a given. Okay, it's part of earth life. You don't condemn people for this. You don't condemn yourself for this. You try to improve. But the trespass that are being talked about in the second component of this chapter are the fruits, the results of that sinful nature, that less than perfect nature, the effects of it. And so, how do you then, there's a sin offering that you deal with because part of your life is going to be a problem because the kinds of things you do are going to be less than perfect. And then there are going to be specific acts that you do that are sinful. And you need to deal with both. And part of the thing that Heavenly Father wanted these people to understand was not that they're horrible and not worthy of Him, but that they need to strive constantly to be better than their nature might tend to make them think they can get away with being. Well, that's just the way I am, is not acceptable to Heavenly Father. It shouldn't be acceptable to us either. You know, if the way we act, the way we talk, the way we treat other people creates problems, we have an obligation to be better than that. It's just a fact. That's what Heavenly Father's trying to get these people to understand. If somebody says, well, it's just the way I am, that's not good enough. You were created to be better than that, and you can be. And that's what He wants you to learn to be. And that's what these sacrifices were for, to teach them they could be and should be and needed to be. And that if they weren't, they needed to do something about that.